Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 810. I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
We're going to do our best to make this as brief as possible on account of the fact that it's warm, a.k.a. hot, except for you in the south of America. This is quite temperate for you. Like, we're talking lower 30s here.
We are wimpy Canadians. Cut us some slack.
A little bit, but we don't have AC for the most part in our homes. So, like, we're dying a little bit here inside recording this. So, bear with us, folks. It's the return to the classic series commentary, by the way. If you were a Patreon supporter of us, first of all, thank you. But secondly, you've had this. You've had this on your feed for a while now. State of Decay, episode 1 is coming out today. So look forward to that. The original 3 Who Rule are going to be on that because, of course, it's the vampires.
One would say the better 3 Who Rule, really.
Yeah, that's true. Although we have outlived 2 of them.
Bravo, I guess.
What does that say? Hey, and they're vampires too. So they also, not the actual actors, of course.
That's kind of a draw on that one.
It is a little bit. Next week, though, I should tell you right now, it's the 15th anniversary of this here podcast, and we're hoping to celebrate with some fluid links, which we have not done since Christmas, I think, basically, right? It was the traditional...
Probably, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so...
the Advent ones. Yeah.
The Advent ones. So we're dusting that off again. Ask anything. Ask about Doctor Who. Ask about the podcast, because it's 15th, whatever. We'll give you that.
To answer the first question...
When will it get better?
Yeah.
To answer the first question some people might think of, yes, we are skipping a week for the State of Decay commentary.
Yeah, people are...
It will not be both fluid links and that.
No, update your spreadsheets accordingly. Part of me likes to just mess with things, Part of me just wants to be, what? I'm going to put something, put a break, throw a week in there. Just,
somehow you won't release episodes with chipmunking our voices.
I know. Well, we tried that, and it mostly by accident, probably in the early days, but... So there, Fluid Links, send them in on us on Twitter there, Radio Free Skaro, hashtag Fluid Links. Send us all your questions and comments, and we'll get to them next week in a big old celebration. Not really a celebration. It'll happen like it's Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We'll be very tired, and you know how it usually goes.
Asterisk, we may not get to all of them.
Yes, quite possibly, because we randomly draw them. They have this little spreadsheet, and I have a little thing that I press a little button that I forget every time. It's been like 9 months since I did it, and then it stops, and then I read it, and then we discuss it. Just in case people haven't been listening to this or came on board this calendar year. That's what the Fluid Links is. Why we call them Fluid Links, as Nardole says in the intro, no idea, not a clue.
He's right.
No. Why is the sound effect what it is? Because it's the sound effect from the Wheel in Space, which features a fluid link for the second.
Are you answering a fluid link that hasn't even been asked? I think you might be.
Maybe I will, yeah. Send it in. I'll answer it again next week.
I think you are right now, is what I'm saying.
I know. Well, listen, after 15 years of this podcast, Warren, I am pretty sure that at least once we've probably repeated ourselves.
That's possible, yes.
Occasionally.
It's possible, yes.
Very possible.
Not to mention it's possible we've also repeated ourselves.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Do you suffer from blackouts?
Blackouts.
Sorry, that's the critic deep cut.
Wow, the critic. Goodness me.
That's right.
And the winner is Spastic Colon.
Is that show available anywhere?
I don't know if it is, to be honest with you.
DVD?
I think it's on YouTube. I know Duckman, which is of the same era,
Yeah.
is available nowhere but DVD because I bought it for $30.
I know you bought it. Yeah.
The entire series.
Well, hey, let's move on. Right, segue to this then. Speaking of long lost series, finally achieving a not a physical release, but a streaming release at the very least. I think we mentioned this, maybe we didn't. But Blake 7 coming soon to BritBox in Canada and probably the United States. The UK has had it for quite a while. Blake's 7 makes its BritBox debut here in Canada on August 17th. It might be there already on American BritBox. It might also be there on August 17th. I don't know, but so yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. You know, I have all the episodes which I acquired like decades ago, burnt them onto DVD. But they're on DVD and they don't have like captions on there.
Yep.
And it just,
I have them on a hard drive that's like 10 feet, not even 10. It's a foot away from me.
Yeah.
And I will never watch it off of that, even though it's easy as hell to do.
so
I'll never
easy.
do it.
No,
so.
but you got BritBox, so why wouldn't you do it there? This is not an ad for
Exactly.
BritBox. We just think it's kind of cool.
I'll wait a week or two and I'll watch it on BritBox.
I know. I'm looking
Also,
forward to it.
If you're in Canada, The Critic is all available on the CTV app, which I have to advocate as a goldmine. There is a ton of old 70s movies on there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
it's weird. I don't know why they must have the rights for them or something. Well, they obviously do if they're on their app. But
Interesting.
It is on YouTube. I don't know if that's supposed to be there, but it is there.
You know,
no, I don't think anybody cares at this point.
I thought, did you just check right now? Because I saw a comment
Yes.
somewhere that the BBC had yanked them down off of YouTube, but clearly that's not.
Oh, no,
the
I'm
case.
talking about The Critic.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
talking about the critic.
Oh, I'm talking about Blake 7. I'm sticking to topic here. Yeah.
No, I know Blake 7 was on YouTube. I haven't looked forever.
Well,
for
it's
that,
on
but-
BritBox now, so at least it will be August 17th.
So it doesn't need to be anymore.
Yeah. So there, that's exciting news for me. I am just nearing the end of my. It's hard to call it a rewatch because the first time I watched it was like 25 years ago when I was at college. But I've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I'm very near the end. I'm like halfway through season 7. So, but I'm now going to aim to be done that by August 17th. And this is on top of my daily quest. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but like since June 20th, I've been watching an episode of Doctor Who a day. And it's been great because it's been fun to have an episode of Doctor Who to look forward to. The funny thing is that listener Joe sent in the list saying this is accommodating for about 2 seasons of 10 episodes for Jodie Whittaker before the 60th anniversary. And of course, we're only going to get one, and it's a shortened season than that. So I guess once I finish this big thing, once other people are, I know Paul Booth has been tweeting about it, which is good because every time he tweets about it early in the day, I go, oh, thank God I didn't forget one. I'll have like a few days to kill after I'm done the last Jodie Whittaker episode and then the official 60th anniversary. About which we'll talk. But have you heard the rumor about a new showrunner? It was all over Twitter today, being Thursday. We're recording this Thursday, August 5th.
Oh, dear.
No.
Is that Sally Wainwright, who...
like we said last week. Yes,
I think that's the thing. Like I searched for... because I just remember, people are saying Sally Wainwright. Well, I'm curious to see what the source of this rumor is, and it's kind of like when you go on Twitter and you see, this person is trending, and you think, has this person died? No. B, why is this person trending? This person is trending because that person is trending, and I think Sally Wainwright was basically being rumored because other people were saying, that's an interesting rumor. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't.
And I have to stress, I wasn't saying that I came up with it in the first place. Like I picked up on that exact same stuff last week, and that's why I thought that it was a possibility.
Well, it's been confirmed now, Warren. So well done for
confirmed that it's trending.
Yeah, I don't know if she's sure she was trending or not, but that was the big rumor du jour. The new showrunner of Doctor Who. Rumored.
I saw a little bit of things like people saying, well, if Sally Wainwright was the showrunner, she should pick person X for the Doctor.
Here it is. Yeah.
So now I know why I've seen those things on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Twitter. Twitter seems to think that people should listen to it, and the real world doesn't think that really. So
no, that's true. It is a small subset of the world at large, to be fair. But
it thinks very highly of itself. It's like bloggers used to be.
Yeah.
Basically, it is the bloggers.
I just want to know where the rumor, like what's the source? Where's the ground zero source of Sally Wainwright is what I'm curious about. Like where...
Well, I think part of that, like I said, she had a lot of media attention for Gentleman Jack and a few other things before that. So that might be
Happy
part
Valley.
of the same sort of crest of the wave, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mildly surprised that I have maybe I haven't had my ear to the ground, but like Jed Mercurio, who does Line of Duty and Bodyguard, that one series of Bodyguard, which was like massive ratings, and I feel like the BBC are looking at big Sunday night ratings. We got to get that guy on board, just like they looked at Broadchurch Sunday night ratings and go, big Sunday night ratings. We got to get that guy on board. And I'm hoping that they aren't just going, big Sunday night ratings, and like getting whatever showrunner gets like 9 million on a Sunday night.
It'll not affect the ratings one bit.
No,
you know what I mean, like that never works, or most of the time it doesn't, I guess.
No. I got to tell you, Warren, I have in the past few weeks, I have like completely turned around on two things. One, vaccinations. Everybody should get vaccinated. If you are willingly not getting vaccinated, I do not like you right now.
That's fair.
And B is viewing figures. Even after I watched all of Adam Martin's, all 21 seasons so far of his excellent YouTube series, it just feels like Doctor Who is the only show that worries about ratings because it's on like terrestrial TV, and no other big science fiction show has to deal with this. And so that's, they never, what's the overnights on Star Trek Discovery? There isn't such a thing. And I feel like
nobody cares.
I know.
Well, I mean, somebody in CBS presumably cares.
But they
but
don't.
It's not the big deal they used to be.
No, because it's not released publicly, and it's not like you're not going up. And I was watching the BBC press office Twitter account. They were announcing all the new guests for Strictly Come Dancing. I think is it, or Dancing with the Stars? I think it was. I don't remember, one of those. Those
Strictly.
It was Strictly, and it's just thinking, this is what Saturday night or Sunday night TV is now. Like this is it. It's become that. Doctor Who feels like an outlier now. It became that family viewing program in 2005 and kind of brought families around the TV again. But I think families have moved on to watching, snackable TV, like just sort of
if it wasn't
kind of frippery.
The thing is, social media has a lot to do with this too, because like Breaking Bad never got, and was on a TV channel.
Yeah.
It never got that great of ratings, but it was beloved by a lot of people on social media and pretty much every critic. Ted Lasso apparently is a hit for Apple, but isn't that big a hit if you look at actual numbers.
Right.
But because not that many people have Apple TV Plus. But comparing it to everything else in Apple TV Plus, yes, it's a runaway hit.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't mean it's that many numbers. But again, if you look at social media, people, rightly or wrongly, probably rightly love that show. So I can't say rightly or wrongly, that sounds gatekeepery, but what I'm saying is
right.
There's a loud contingent of people who love that show.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's getting a huge set of, and it doesn't apparently have to. Apple's got the money, they want to make it, go for it.
Yeah, so basically all this is leading up to I am starting a campaign that I want Doctor Who off of BBC One. I don't want it on TV anymore. I want it on...
Well, given the outsized influence of podcasters
right?
on top of Twitter,
listen,
I'm sure this is in the bag.
We have just confirmed and indeed signed the deal to have Sally Wainwright to be the next showrunner of Doctor Who. On this show.
We sure haven't, yes.
That I think that us getting Doctor Who off of BBC One on to HBO Max, I'm sure we can have it happen in the next 2 months. In between now and the time whenever Doctor Who is coming back on the air, we can get it done. I want that to happen. I don't want to deal with overnight ratings anymore. I wanted to see how, Doctor Who only got this much of the ratings, but then again, the highest program was only 5.5 million, and people are going, well, obviously Doctor Who needs to be canceled. Well, what about, why not cancel Strictly Come Dancing? It got only 4.7, and it was the number one program of the night. That's terrible, for God's sake. That's Meglos numbers, for crying out loud.
I just imagine you in a BBC boardroom. This is Meglos numbers. And some 22-year-old rich kid aristocrat is looking back at you in an amazing suit and going, what's a Meglos?
Yeah, what's a Meglos? Exactly. So, campaign.
And who is this man? How did he get in here?
Yeah, the campaign begins here. Cancel Doctor Who off of BBC One.
I see that Doctor Who's own Robert Webb is one of the Strictly contestants.
Oh, that's right. He was one of those robots in that Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, wasn't he?
He is also, how do I put this, a bit Rowling-esque in his attitudes.
There was a little bit of a controversy, as the British say, wasn't it? I don't know what it was, but I am...
I only know enough to know that it wasn't pleasant. Okay. So we'll just go do your research, people.
I don't know.
Or don't bother making your lives difficult having to read about this guy. Anyway, we're not going to abolish stats when the overnights come here. We're going to have them on as if to decry them. That's it, Warren. That's okay.
Right?
So I'm not winning anything here. You're just admitting I'm right, but also punishing me.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're wasting ammunition. We are firing our expensive machine guns into the air to protest the war, essentially, is what we'll be doing when the stat segment comes back.
Seems pointless? Okay.
Yep.
But let's do it.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of pointless, let's... What do you got
apparently
there,
Robert Webb,
okay. Oh, here
Robert
it is.
Webb in the past said something negative about... trans charity called Mermaids.
That's why I said he was a bit Rowling-esque.
Didn't know that.
As in JK. And I ain't JKing about that.
I'm trying to remember the name of the show. There's a show that starred Anna Friel a couple of years ago.
I don't know who that is.
Which was about raising a trans child. And mermaids featured quite heavily in that. Wish I could remember the darn name of the show, though.
Oh. Well done, Strictly Come Dancing, for that...
thoroughly unpleasant.
PR
Thank you.
failure.
And good day.
Yeah.
Butterfly.
Glad we're not going up against we being Doctor Who on a Saturday night because you're BBC, so we'd be going before or after. That's another thing about Strictly Come. You're always like, oh, guess what? Doctor Who's on at 8:40 p.m. now because of Strictly Come Dancing.
That's another thing. Is it going to go back to Saturdays after Chibnall's reign? That's what I'm curious.
No,
about.
I want it to go to HBO Max and have it download and have it stream, and people will have to watch it throughout the day.
And once again, your word is law. As we saw on that board, meaning that never happened.
It's the only program. It's the only show that has to rely on a broadcast date. I'm kind of tired of it. I've come around, okay?
The only show you watch that has to rely on
That's true.
There's plenty of shows that rely on.
Well, I know, but really, like name a network show that is like just...
I don't watch this crap, but CBS makes so much money. I think they are the number one network, like broadcast network, I believe.
Yeah, but...
and they make a ton of money off of just utter, complete garbage that people care about their ratings for because they get huge, for now, ratings.
Right now, for now. And even...
for this era.
And even that, with all the cable cutting that's going on, I would just feel like, come on. I think we fought the good fight, but it's over.
In 2020,
there's a lot of people in the world, let's say in the U.S., where it actually matters what the ratings are, that probably have crap internet, and can't stream or don't care or just turn the TV on and watch whatever. There's tons and tons of people doing that.
Also true.
It's just not talked about.
I feel like we're on the cusp of SD and HD in a way, whereas the HD was coming, and then all of a sudden, we have.
Oh yeah, I think it's a trend that's definitely happening.
Oh yeah. Anyway, Chris, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
CBS in 2020, CBS was the most watched U.S. network,
and it was probably Blue Bloods or something like that, like a show about old people who are police officers
that I couldn't care less about, but tons of old people are watching it.
Just looking through an article on Variety. It just mentions the network. It doesn't say what shows. Right?
Okay,
we're responsible for those viewing figures.
But these shows are on TV for a reason. They continue to blight us because they make them tons of cash, or they would do. In fact, CBS has a bad track record for awful showrunners that continue to make shows because they make money. That's the only reason these things exist.
Oh, like you mean like Alex Coltman and for Star Trek, locking him up till 2025. Kurtzman, thank you.
I couldn't speak to that.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, Warren, as the person who brought up these stats,
yes.
So
oh God,
total figures, CBS is in first place. However, adults 18 to 49, they're in fourth place.
Wow. No, I think it's the Metamucil network, and it always has been, even in the primacy of they were always the Tiffany network, right?
Yeah.
It's the network of Diagnosis Murder and Murder, She Wrote. And
it's always been like that. And it's made them tons of cash.
I like that we veered on, how will Doctor Who survive on CBS for some reason? I don't understand how we got there. But
no, I'm just using that as the quintessential example of some broadcast thing that keeps chugging along.
I know. Anyway, broadcast TV. I used to work in broadcast TV. All right. I mean,
so did I.
Yeah.
So I'm not happy about it.
Nope, not at all.
I'm in no way defending it either. I'm just saying there's more to it than just HBO Max.
No, I know. You know what? I was thinking that this is somewhat on topic, but I don't think I've ever mentioned this on a podcast. But the switch to digital delivery and streaming actually was hastened. It was sort of moving that way anyway, but it was hastened, believe it or not, by that tsunami that hit Japan in 2011.
That's right, because there were only 2 factories to make digital videotape, and they were wiped out.
Yep.
So you had to go to digital delivery.
Yeah, I worked at a TV station back then, and we had like 20 HDCam SR tapes, 20 of them, and we were like hanging on to them for dear life.
Because they were just gone.
There
was no upside in building
They were so rare that we thought, well, how are we going to get programs? People can't ship stuff on HDCam tapes anymore. And so people, well, maybe we'll have to like it's literally send a hard drive. We didn't have
That's exactly what happened.
The fiber capability to send it through the internet, so that people would literally send us hard drives of stuff on it. And that was I remember that was like 2011.
And I would argue that the pandemic will do a similar thing to viewing habits.
I think it will. And this, I think a lot of people are, like I've sort of been, I've always liked the appointment viewing aspect of it. But I think that aspect has changed to basically, instead of a broadcast date, to a release date. And that, I think everyone has a day basically to watch it. Like when the new episode of Loki drops, some people will watch it people like when it drops like 1 a.m. or something like that. And then people will sort of stay off Twitter until they can find a time to watch it. But everyone sort of eventually watches it like in the first day or day and a half or something like that. And right now it's like there's people in the UK who watch it like right on broadcast. There's other people who also try to manage to do it as well. But then like other people have to wait forever until like BBC America broadcasts. But then it's chopped up by commercials. And then other people, well, I'm going to wait for it to show up on iTunes. 24 hours later, and then they watch it there, and then this is the ultimate fallacy in this country with outdated pay-per-view, is that it only drops, like I remember when Star Trek Discovery only drops on Crave, which is our HBO,
a day later.
A day later.
Ridiculous.
It's dumb. That's so outdated.
Having said all that, like without the pandemic, there's no way you'd see movies opening at home the same
No,
day,
you wouldn't.
Which is not going to go away when the pandemic does.
No.
Like they've already broken that barrier. There's no way to get it back. They will in some limited form, but I think you're going to see a lot more day and date stuff than they used to.
Yeah.
Or you might not see Disney getting their asses sued.
Yeah, by Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, by the way, there's an excellent discussion with Jason Snell and Loudmouth Julia. I can't. That's her Twitter handle.
Right. Yeah, I listened to that. It's great.
On Upgrade. Upgrade the podcast.
I think
that came out this week.
I think Scarlett Johansson's in the right on this one. She kind of got screwed over, and if she's a big enough example, then other people who are below the line hopefully won't get screwed over as well.
Yeah.
Like Gerard Butler, who also sued Disney.
That's true. Yeah,
other actors too, but I just mean tons of people. Like, I mean, look at how Christopher Nolan was like, "What are you doing with Tenet again?" And this guy's one of their golden jewels. So if you treat him that badly, it's not a great idea.
Yeah. Anyway, the world's changing is what I mean to say, and I think Doctor Who needs to change along with it in the way of this broadcast. I will hammer this drum.
Enough to get to that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will hammer this drum.
So with that bombshell, now we get to talk about old Doctor Who.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Damn straight. That's what we do on this show. We talk about that.
Would you like it any different, Chris? Come on.
Yeah. Let's look back at the time lapse.
Some sanity would be nice someday.
It's nice. Listen, that's the great thing about the Time Lapse, a new weekly segment where we talk about stuff that happened on this week in history in Doctor Who. And we're in August right now, and not a lot happened. They're filming stuff. They filmed The Unicorn and the Wasp. This is what they did in 2008. And on August 10th, the actual day, they filmed Space and Time, that 2-part thing with 2 Amy's and stuff. Richard Sr. directed that, and because of that, he got the directing gig on Let's Kill Hitler a year later. So
I still remember us interviewing him at Galley.
Yep.
How animated he was.
He was, wasn't he?
He was just like such a he just didn't stop moving.
No, very energetic.
Cute little bunny.
Also, Unicorn and the Wasp is a lot better with a few years between it and the shows surrounding it.
I think so too.
I quite enjoy it.
And a few cocktails, perhaps.
Yeah, many cocktails.
It's quite enjoyable. It's just at the time it didn't. There's a bunch of other stuff, and there was a bunch of stuff happening in Tennant Dark, and so it just didn't mesh with that particular week by week thing. But on its own, it's fine. A few years removed from it.
It is. Yeah. And they started filming this week in history. Also, this is a story that I recently just watched as part of my daily rewatch. The Reign of Terror started August 8th, Sunday. That's today, as this goes out. With episode 1, A Land of Fear. I have to say, because Reign of Terror, I only saw when it came out on VHS. I think it was one of the last VHS purchases I made. Yeah.
Was that part of the big box set they released just to get all the odds and sods out?
I don't... Oh, boy, that's a good one. I know that...
I can't remember.
That whole set didn't come out here. They only came out in piecemeal. So I know I bought that, and I bought the Ice Warriors, like, in 1999. So, like, that's... So, to me, it still seems like a recent episode. It was almost 22 years ago when I first saw it. I have no idea what goes on in the story. Not a clue. They're just like, okay, they run around. They're in prison a lot. Susan hates rats. Ian's on film. Doctor wears a hat. The animation's weird, and then it ends. And that's all I know.
Doctor wears a hat. Sign me up.
Yeah.
And the appearance of Edmund Proudfoot in the first filmed...
Brian Proudfoot. You're mixing your doctor doubles.
I am.
Yeah.
Edmund Warwick and Brian Proudfoot.
Yeah, that was...
Proud feet.
Yeah, nice. That was in episode 2, which is next week. But of course, they filmed that earlier in the week. But yeah. But we're bearing the lead here. August 10th, 1968, folks. Season 6, the last black and white season of Doctor Who. Begins on August 10th. It wraps up on June 21st, 1969. Almost a full calendar year. The Dominators, episode 1. Yep.
Destroy. Total destruction.
Love the Dominators. I don't care what people say. I think it's kind of great.
It's such a not good show, but it's so enjoyable.
You know what I mean?
See, that's me and Invisible Enemy.
See, like,
it's not good, but damn is it fun.
It shouldn't be called the Dominators. Maybe we'll get into this whenever we talk about Hazen and Lincoln in the miniscope.
Oh yeah, they're still in there.
But it should just be called Old Married Alien Couple.
it would answer so many questions. So many questions.
Old Married Alien Couple with robotic pets.
Yeah.
It's basically JNT and Gary Downey.
Are they pets or are they
Gord Downey?
Or are they children? I think they're more children because they're not only are their voices provided by children, but
you're talking the Quarks.
The Quarks, okay. Yeah, not the.
You're talking about the Dominators.
Not the Dominators.
I'm like, their no voices are not from children.
No. Oh no, they aren't, are they? They're played by children. The voices by Sheila Grant, I think, did the voices. But children are in the little boxes, though. Yeah.
Where else are you going to put them?
Right on the outside. I don't know. Running miniatures. I don't know. Anyway,
Kenny Baker probably wasn't available at the time.
I don't think he was. No. So they only had children. They only had children to exploit in 1968 for the Dominators, directed by Morris Berry. Yeah, August 10th. They thought, you know what? Heat of summer. Let's do it. Let's drop this episode. After having had a full summer. That being 9 weeks, 7 episodes over 9 weeks, of a repeat, because they showed The Evil of the Daleks in between Wheel in Space and the Dominators, and of course it was the first proper repeat of Doctor Who ever, and they actually weaved it into the drama of the program. It's canon. That is a repeat canon broadcast of Evil of the Daleks, which I find utterly fascinating. I think they should have done that all the time. They should have had a thing. Oh, you know what? Let's think about that. I'm going to think back to my memories of the Sea Devils, except it's going to be slightly truncated and fit into 2 evening slots as opposed to 6. And then they segue into a Sea Devils repeat or something in 1972. That's where they should have done it. Anyway. That's it. That's it, though, for this week in the Time Lash. Next week, probably more of the same, because it's just those two stories. But then, folks, in 2 weeks' time, the fall season starts kicking up again, and we'll have some proper Doctor Who to talk about, not just featuring Quarks. This day has been a long day coming. We have seen the leaked pics. We've heard the rumors. It's finally there, folks. New action dolly sets
yes, indeed.
From the 60s and 70s of Doctor Who. The Sensorites gift set, the Keys of Marinus set.
Yes, the Vord and Ian. What more do you want?
Power of the Daleks and Day of the Daleks. Let's go with this right through the first one. The Sensorites, which is the one that was leaked several weeks ago, finally has an official release. It features 2 Sensorites and Doctor Who, is played by William Hartnell there. Warren, your thoughts on the Sensorites here?
Oh, I'll definitely pick it up, even though I'll have double double ones.
Right.
but just to have sensor rights, including a sash sensor, right? Let's not forget about that. It's important. Yes, I am excited by this. The only one I'm not excited by is Power of the Daleks, because I already got like 4 or 5 Daleks. Day of the Daleks, I'm tempted by.
Oh, because of the gold one?
Because of the gold Dalek. But if they'd kept the Aubrey Woods, which they never had any intention of making, I don't want to make it sound like they did. I just really want the controller.
Did we talk about this, about having the Candyman box set? It was basically Day of the Daleks.
Yes.
With,
Yes, we did.
We talked about it when talked about the Day of the Daleks Big Chief stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, this is your option for the 5.5. I think it's cool to have the because the Power of the Daleks one has a deep fried Dalek, which is kind of cool.
That's true.
It does.
It's making fries, or chips.
I'm not a Dalek completionist, though. But the Vord, I mean, that is pretty rad.
God, that is pretty solid, isn't it? It's even got the little Teletubby.
And they came out of left field, too.
Yeah.
I was like, what, the Vord? Really? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
I enjoy that they have different designs on their heads.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep.
I like that they come with knives.
Well, yeah, we do, too.
I'm kind of, I think, digging Ian's, black suit except for the stripy colored tie.
Well, the thing is he doesn't wear a suit in that story. He wears his holdover outfit from Marco Polo.
People were commenting, "Oh, finally a London 1965 Ian."
Right. It kind of is.
I mean, you could just put a speech bubble next to him and make him a London 1965.
That's true. We don't have a Babs yet, though.
Right.
We don't have a Barbara yet, though. That's the thing.
No, but my big question is, where's Arbitan?
Good question.
And where's the nasty guy from the winter scene that tries to do bad things to Barbara?
That's all. I don't know if we want that guy. I don't know.
He has been omitted. He's been, in the parlance of the time, canceled.
I think the estate of George Caloris vetoed the Arbitan figurine right away, thinking, no, we are not
Say it
going
right.
to.
It's a dolly.
It is the action dolly.
Also, here's what happens when these sets come out. I go, oh, that's cool. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I want this set now. And so the one I just came to mind was, I want a Sunmaker set. You could have Cordo. You could have
the Gatherer, the Collector.
What's his name? Gatherer, the Collector. Yeah, that'd be great.
It would be kind of cool. I mean, this is kind of teasing because you look at it and go, are they just working through like the 60s now? Like, are they going story by story essentially here?
Well, so Keys of Marinus, because of the nature of its story, there's some depths they can plumb.
Oh,
like
God,
the brains in a jar.
Brains of Morbiton. Morbiton?
You could have like the jury from the murder trial.
Right.
They've never done a Monoptera figure, have they?
You could have the couple where the husband is not so nice to the wife. Although I think he's
that
probably
doesn't sound like a fun thing to play with.
Yeah, there's a couple really disturbing scenes in Keys of Marinus, by the way, just so you know. Also, it's not as fluffy as you think.
If they do come out with an Arbitan, it needs to have a removable cloak, so you can put the cloak over top of a Vord.
That's true, and have it quite obviously be a Vord, and have it.
These guys have shown extreme dedication to detail.
They really have.
I think you might be going a little far here, Chris.
I don't know. I have to. I appreciate, and I never really realized at the time watching Keys of Marinus, but I love that other aliens, they have like big guns and stuff here, like an extermination array or something like that. What's the Vord main weapon? A knife. It's like a kitchen knife. That's what they got.
I'm gonna cut you.
You better not get within 5 feet of me, and then that could be trouble.
You need the judges with the weird whisk chef hats.
Yeah, those are awesome hats.
And you need the submersibles.
Yes, with an empty suit. Vord, I think, should be a playset onto itself.
Acid melted Vord. Yeah.
Yeah, acid melted Vord. All sorts of. I think you could have like because there are about 117 different flubs that actually make it on camera in episode 1. You could have,
and the obvious one. Where are the Keys of Marinus themselves?
The conscience of Marinus. We have to have like this big giant dodecahedron that you could easily get away with, just sort of like it's also the dodecahedron from Megalos. This is so we don't have to make 2 different molds. So you could have the dodecahedron set of having Arbitan with the dodecahedron.
Oh, okay. So there's your next set, the dodecahedron with double Jacqueline Hill action.
There we go.
And Meglos. You got to have Meglos in both accountant and actual cactus.
Yeah. So you got Arbitan. Jacqueline Hill as Barbara, and then with 2 different skins on this dodecahedron type thingy of the Conscience of Marinus or the dodecahedron from Meglos, and then you have Lexa, also played by Jacqueline Hill, and then you have Edward Underdown, and he's sitting there, and you've got what's his name, Zaster, or what him, and there's your Marinus Meglos box set. There you go, character options. That's free one. You can have that.
And you know how they're going to sell?
How?
They're going to sell in Meglos numbers.
4.7 million people are going to buy that. More people will buy that Meglos box set than will have watched Meglos itself. That's how popular they're going to be.
There may be a couple of flaws with your plan.
Possibly. They're out from in the UK in mid-August from B&M, which I always want to call Barnes and Noble, but it's not. But I assume that this is funny. Warren did not know until just before recording about the Who North America shop, whona.com. This episode brought to you by whona.com. But they have a whole bunch of action dollies there, and they surely, Chris, you say they're at Gallifrey 1, right? They're often there, right?
I want to say yes.
Like I must have bought from them if that's the case.
Like the funny thing is I'm always looking at the tables and not like, oh, what booth is this? Like I'm always looking at the merchandise.
Yeah, I couldn't care less what booth it is. What do they got? Come on, what do you got for me? Me.
Yeah. So A, you might be able to order them on the website, or B, they might have them at the next Gallifrey 1. Should everyone get vaccinated and allow us to have a Gallifrey 1, you can go.
Yeah, you hear that, LA?
Yeah,
come on,
exactly.
Get your act together.
Well, also other people go to LA, but
well, yes.
Yeah.
In looking at 2022 Galley dealers room stuff, they're not there. I might be conflating them with Alien Entertainment.
You might be.
I might be.
You might be. So good luck, Warren. I wish you luck finding a second job to pay for all these action dollies.
Well, it's the upside of the pandemic. There's nothing to spend money on except dollies.
That's true. That is very true. Anyway, it's very exciting. Al Dewar, who is from Character Options, always does videos for the release of these things. Has another video running down all the things, all the different articulation points, and they're very in-depth videos. He does good work on those. And so links in the show notes, radiofreescar.com, if you want to have a look at those action dollies for yourself. Speaking of stuff and special releases, Doctor Who Magazine's special edition number 58 has come out. It's all about directing. I have read through about half of it. It came out like today, basically, as we recorded this, and I'm thinking, yep, this here special edition is written for basically this podcast, because there's it just go. I mean, directing Doctor Who through the millennia, essentially like that. There's a bunch of pictures of big giant turret cameras. There is a book which I want to have. It dates back to like 1978 or 79. And there's a picture of the book, but not anything in the book itself. It's called, as I'm skimming through my iPad copy here to find it, it's something about Scene Sync. Scene Sync reference book. It looks like it's like how Scene Sync works. I want that
glorious.
book. I want that book.
It all comes back to Meglos somehow.
It really does, isn't it? It's very strange.
Tonight it does. Yeah.
Very strange. Also, it mentions that Meglos was not the first BBC program to use Scene Sync. They were testing it for the Borges, I think, which is being filmed the next year. The first time they used Scene Sync was during the Classics Sunday Classics brand of performances that Barry Letts and Terrence Dix were putting together in 1978. They did a version of Pinocchio using Scene Sync. Apparently, Barry Letts appeared on Blue Peter to give a demonstration of Scene Sync using some of the settings from Pinocchio. A, I want to see this Pinocchio. B, I want to see Barry Letts going through the Scene Sync process on Blue Peter in 1978. These are the things I need this when you're planning your Blu-ray sets for season 15 or 16. This is what I need. Okay, Russell Minton and the DVD crew. Yeah, I want that. So there. Anyway, Warren,
if you listen to the Blue Peter. The Blue Peter interview, if you strain your ears just hard enough, you can hear Douglas Trumbull cry.
I think this is what it should have been for the Starlogs.
Why couldn't I have done this?
I
did 2001.
As a curiosity, if you've gone through about half of it, has the Paul Joyce interview graced your eyes yet?
Oh no, but it's there. It is there. I only got to
I'm curious how that is.
I know. I only got to. He did a self-portrait of himself. I got to literally that before we started recording. I'm just into the 1980s a little bit there. It's really good. It's really good. How to read a camera script, just deep, nerdy stuff. Nerdy directing stuff. This is right up our alley. So,
yeah.
I urge you to get it. I mean, we don't get paid money by Doctor Who magazine. We just really like it, so this is why we talk about it here. But
same with BritBox. BritBox hasn't paid us a dime.
No, they haven't. Yeah.
I mean, I give $5 a month to KSPS, which I can't even watch.
No.
I regard it as a tithe. So
right?
This is the mentality you're dealing with here. I give a religious dispensation to the PBS station from my youth that I can't even see.
Can't even watch. You're not even in its broadcast area anymore.
Unless I visit Edmonton.
Yeah. But I still get my my program guide, but there's no Doctor Who. Still, every time I get it, I think maybe they've added it back in. Maybe they have. They haven't. Anyway, hey, let's talk about Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi, he played Doctor Who number 12. He's been doing a lot of press for them, their Suicide Squad movie that's coming out. And of course, naturally...
Suicide Squad.
I'm
going to start calling it
Suicide Squad.
In Calgary.
Let me tell you, first off, just about the Suicide Squad, which is a movie that features Peter Capaldi, and I think it's opening. It's already open. By the time this comes out, it'll have opened on the weekend. There has been a trailer for it geared especially to Edmonton. I don't know if you've seen this, but there is a petition in Edmonton to rename or name a new public service area or something somewhere in town. Naming it after Edmonton native Nathan Fillion. They want to call it the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion, which is a fantastic name. Anyway, he's in this new movie, and the bulk of the cast and the director James Gunn put together a 1.5-minute video saying, yes, we need to make this happen. So,
totally, yeah.
And they direct it towards Edmonton. So and then Idris Elba comes on. So Edmonton, make this happen and go see the Suicide Squad in Edmonton. And they go, what? Idris Elba is telling me to see a movie in my own home city. This never happens. But Peter Capaldi was not in that trailer, but he's been doing press, and naturally, conversation has gone towards Doctor Who because, of course, there's a regime change coming. But he has poo-pooed both doing radio plays for the BBC because they're often in the basement. He doesn't like them, and B, he also thinks that maybe maybe he wouldn't come back to do a multi-doctor story as well. So there you go. Peter Capaldi hates Doctor Who.
The thing is, he's been gone, a few years now, I guess 3 or 4. Maybe he just wants some distance between him, and then he comes back to it. He doesn't want to just jump right back into it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll never have to. Maybe he'll never want to. I saw another interview where he was sort of saying you become another person when you're sort of like the Doctor, not just on screen, but off screen, because you're becoming a face of a franchise, so to speak. You're a figurehead as well as just an actor playing a part. And so now he's sort of settled back into who he really thinks he is now that he's done being the Doctor and everything. So I don't know. I don't think he's coming back. I thought for sure with, knowing he was a huge fan, I just thought, oh, well, the clock's ticking. Big Finish is just going to say, yep, I'll go right on to do an audio, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
He's also had a little bit of press with, statements he made getting taken out of context relative to the budget and, design and props and making of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Relative to this, massive DC Warner film.
Well, the thing is, he loves Doctor Who. He's a bigger fan than Tennant, from what I can tell. So, I mean, it's of the old stuff, too. So I really doubt that it's him going, oh, this sucks. That's good clickbait there, guys. Nice try, Screen Rant.
Yeah.
Probably not them, but, might as well be.
We got this covered. No, you don't.
They sure don't.
You don't. Anyway, to that end, the Big Finish took the day after the anniversary of the official release or announcement of Peter Capaldi being Doctor Who to announce that Jacob Dudman is playing the 12th Doctor in a new Big Finish box set coming in February of 2022. I feel like Jacob Dudman, no offense to him, I'm sure he's a fabulous voice artist, but whenever you get Jacob Dudman to do a voice for a living actor, it's kind of like when you see a missing episode being animated. It's thinking, okay, the ship has officially sailed. We are never getting insert actor here. We are never getting this story back. That's why they've gone and animated it. We're never getting Peter Capaldi, so let's get someone else.
And I listened to the clip, and it's not bad. It's 75% of the way there. It's not as good as the guy whose name escapes me, who's doing the War Doctor, which is incredible.
Jonathan Carly. Carly? Am I right in that? Yeah.
Yeah, he does an insanely good job.
Yeah.
But it works. I listen for 5 minutes and you're probably good with Jacob Dudman.
Mm-hmm.
And also, no disrespect to Jacob Dudman, but I mean, hey, Matt Smith, hey, Peter Capaldi. We got Derek Jacobi doing Big Finish. Are you better than Derek Jacobi? I don't know.
John Hurt before he passed.
John Hurt, sure, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I don't know about that.
Derek Jacobi. Like, Sir Derek, he's a knight of the realm and he's doing Big Finish audio plays. You could do that. Come on, Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi.
Kai Owen is doing Big Finish. How dare you?
Wow.
How dare Tracy Oberman, I think Oberman's her last name, is doing Big Finish.
Tracy Ann Oberman, yeah.
So yeah, Tracy Ann Oberman. Mrs. Purchase herself.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe I just have to interview Matt Smith and or Peter Capaldi on stage, like the time I interviewed Christopher Eccleston, and that was the one cinching.
That's the least egotistical thing I've ever heard.
The clinching moment. Christopher Eccleston hadn't even heard of Big Finish until he came on that stage, and then within 50 minutes, I had convinced him to sign for Big Finish, and Jason Haig-Ellery was waiting.
Big Finish hadn't even thought about asking until you came up with this idea.
That's a great idea. And Jason Haig-Ellery rushed backstage and was like, I'm going to ask him. I think Stephen was right. I'm going to ask Christopher Eccleston that he should be on Big Finish.
I almost wish, but not really, that I lived in your world.
I think it's time to up your dose there a little bit, Stephen.
Yeah, a little bit.
Speaking of Derek Jacobi, who we used to call a hack back in the early days, but then we came around.
Jokingly, we never thought he was an actual hack. Come on.
I don't know.
He's not Claudius. How could he be a hack?
I know. I'm kidding, of course.
That's a hack-free zone, man.
Well, he is appearing with David Tennant, the doctor that showed up. Smith and Capaldi. He's with a
Whittaker. Come on,
a new War Master, brand new box set of audio adventures coming out June 2022, featuring 4 stories, including ones from Una McCormack and Lisbeth Miles. Liz Miles has become like one of the most prolific writers for Big Finish. Good for her.
What I love is when she was on Twitter, she was like, Derek Jacobi. Didn't even mention Dave Tennant in this thing. It's Derek Jacobi.
Derek freaking Jacobi. Yeah. She's had a few icons say words that she has written to appear on audio plays. So well done. Well done. Talented people get noticed and get asked to do more things. And that's what you are, Liz, if you're listening to this. So there.
Untalented people make dolly comics. Anyway, moving on.
Last bit of news before our commentary, alas. Ralph Watson has passed away. Ralph Watson was in, 3 different Doctor Who stories? The Web of Fear. I'm just trying to do this off the top of my head.
Played a unit soldier in that, right?
Played a unit soldier in Web of Fear.
I most distinctly remember him from Monster of Peladon.
Oh, of course, Edis's Monster of Peladon. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the third story that he was in. Apparently, all reports he was a very nice man as well, and like he recorded some Big Finish plays and stuff too. So and was a very, very open and charitable fellow on Twitter and everything. And
Horror of Fang Rock.
Horror of Fang Rock. He was Ben the Lighthouse Keeper, of course. There we are. So that's very sad. So our thoughts to the family and friends of Ralph Watson, Doctor Who veteran. All right, that's it for this portion of the podcast, folks. Amazing how we got 50 minutes out of nothing. But
mostly CBS related.
Mostly CBS for some reason. But hey, for the CBS crowd, if you were tired of Meglos back in 1980-81, you had to wait a couple weeks for this story, and that's what we'll be talking about next. Our classic series commentary for State of Decay, Part 1.
Condenser, most merciful. We're looking forward to excellent duodecaphonic sound.
This is the moment when I get a real feeling of job satisfaction.
Yes, welcome to the Radio Free Skaro Doctor Who Classic Series commentary, everyone. Always fun to watch old Doctor Who and lovingly love it. We never make fun of any episodes that we do.
That's not true, but I do love this one.
I do too. I love them all. Let's face it.
We stole our moniker from this story after all.
We did. That's right. The Three Who Rule. Finally, we get to watch them in action. This is exciting. I'm very excited about this. State of Decay. The middle child of the the 3 stepchildren that is the E-Space trilogy, I guess, on season 18, of course, one of my favorite Doctor Who seasons of all time. It came out on Blu-ray, legally purchased, I might add. I hope you are all queuing that up right now. The NTSC version, of course, because if you're watching on PAL, you are going to be out of sync, pal. Get it?
Somewhere. There's got to be some British fan who loves these commentaries so much that he's going to get the NTSC version. And I pity that fan.
I know.
Unless you bought your PAL copy used off eBay for a significant premium, in which case everything will work.
So, I have sometimes thought about like getting a PAL copy and like finding out how much shorter or longer, I've already forgotten which it is, than the NTSC one, and like slowing down the R version of it to match the PAL one.
Why?
You never know.
In the name of God, would you do that kind of work?
I might be that obsessive enough to do that at some point.
You are, but don't do it.
I am. I know. Anyway, hope you're all enjoying this, everyone, on the Patreon feed, and of course, whenever this is coming out on the main feed. Here we go, everyone. State of Decay, Part 1 in 3, 2, 1, play.
The beautiful and unhearable howl theme.
Yeah.
First E-Space trilogy story recorded.
That's right. Second in the season. So they recorded, this is Matthew Waterhouse's first story, even though, and then they recorded Meglos after this, and then they recorded Full Circle. So Lalla Ward gets a head start on hating Matthew Waterhouse before he actually properly debuted.
Do they still hate each other? Matthew Waterhouse seems to have buried the hatchet with everybody else, or they've buried with him.
I actually, Warren, I think that hatchet is pretty firmly on the ground, waiting for a shovel.
I've seen big Finish publicity pictures, so I'm guessing they all tolerate each other for 2 seconds.
He has photoshopped it. Basically, what you're watching when you're watching Big, that's a good glass shot, by the way. You know what? Peter Moffat does actually a fine job of directing in his first Doctor Who story. No, I think they get the Madame Tussauds waxwork of Matthew Waterhouse for season 18, oddly enough. Yeah, they made one for him, so they used that for all the Big Finish. They just had to age him up. He still doesn't have the bowl cut.
That might be nonsense.
Now.
Might just be nonsense.
I got you. Oh, you got me, Warren. You got me.
I did. I really did.
Yeah. I've always loved this story. Always loved it.
So have I.
This is actually the first story, now I think about it, that, because I became like, my fandom, my interest in the show was very high. And then when I saw that Full Circle ended without them getting out of E-Space, and I thought, this is continuing. It is epic. It's blowing my mind. I cannot wait for the next episode. And this was it. So really, I say Full Circle, turned me into a super fan. It was really State of Decay because I was so looking forward to it. And I was glad that I wasn't disappointed. I never read it.
I just remember being very impressed with the novelization. I don't know why. Wasn't any better or worse than the other one, but...
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but Terrence Dicks wrote a great vampire new adventure.
Oh, he did too, didn't he?
In the 90s as well.
Yeah. What was that?
Now, this is like received fan wisdom is that this is not very good. Received fan wisdom is wrong, by the way. But
is it? I don't know.
I just kind of gathered that it was not as well loved as we love it.
I'm not too sure. I think there's some people that don't like season 18 as much as perhaps the three of us do, which of course is wrong. It's perfect and brilliant.
I remember for me, and to this day, it still blows my mind, and I adore it. The big hook for me that really made me love the story was the concept of consonantal
yes,
drifts.
Consonantal, yeah.
With the shifting of the names from O'Connor to Ocon, and
yeah,
I thought that was kind of brilliant, and also
Bidmead put in
those just like. Boom! Like my young mind exploded with that concept.
But also that watching it as a 13, 14, 15 or whatever the hell I was, it's just like this show is rewarding me for thinking I'm clever by going, yes, you are clever.
Yeah. Terrence Dicks hated that bit, by the way. It was all Bidmead putting that scientific.
That's why I like the Bidmead stuff, because that was all full of clever Easter eggs.
I know.
Blood Harvest.
Blood Harvest. That was it.
Blood Harvest was the Terrence Dicks new adventure. Right.
I was thinking of Goth Opera by Paul Cornell, which also features vampires. But
there's another vampire one that I read that was it was all right, but I don't remember a whole lot of it.
I remember one of my favorite Choose Your Own Adventure ones was a vampire one. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember that I was quite taken with it, which is weird, given that I don't like vampires. But
apparently, Goth Opera, Blood Harvest started the story, and Goth Opera closed the story.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
This is Wikipedia just says the events of this story are concluded in the first of the Virgin Missing Adventure novel, Goth Opera by Paul Cornell.
Well, how about that?
So.
Well, we're learning something along with you, folks. There's Tom Baker's hair permed for this because he was feeling unwell in the early part of this season.
Yeah, I've never heard any comments
his
about
hair went
the
flat,
Baker
didn't it?
bouffant.
Yeah. I don't know why I went, like, what? I still don't know, like, what illness he had. He was in Australia in between season 17 and 18, probably at the same time that him and Lalla Ward were shooting the...
Those Prime ads?
Prime ads. No, I assume that maybe he went there expressly to shoot those. That'd be weird.
I believe he had Vegemitis.
I was going to say kangarooism, but you know.
Yeah, something
Possibly
Australian.
Marmitis, but I think it was Vegemitis.
Oh, Marmite. Ugh, Marmite's disgusting.
But for some reason, whatever illness he had, it makes your hair flatten. Also, he lost a lot of weight too. But
Yeah. In the words of Otto the bus driver, just try to go limp.
yeah. So this is also interesting. On location, Tom and Lalla are fighting. In studio, they clearly have made up. Watch as they don't look at each other at all throughout most of the location scenes on this episode.
I assume it was shot in the traditional way where the location stuff was first.
It was, yeah.
She,
Very rare for Doctor Who to do that otherwise.
I don't want to say she has bad luck with men, because that seems like a rather sexist thing to say, but she was married to Richard Dawkins, who's turned into a complete maniac.
That was true,
and, she divorced him before that or during that? I don't remember.
Before. Yeah. But, because of, I think she knew him from his time on Doctor Who, but also... Douglas Adams was friends with Richard Dawkins as well, and so
I think that's how they met, was through Douglas Adams.
Yeah, that's true. She
at
met
a party or something.
Yeah, at a party at an Islington flat.
Perhaps, yes. Hey, is this guy bothering you? I've got two heads.
Thank you for getting the reference.
I got that reference.
Reference acknowledged.
Oh, right. Oh, here we go. So this, I forgot. Back in the day when the last time we did an Adric commentary, we would notice just seeing what he would do in the background, how many times he'd put his hand in his pocket.
Listen, no teenage boy skulks out of a room, probably the bathroom, like that, unless he's done one thing.
You don't want to go in there, K-9. Maybe wait a few minutes.
I'd say one of two things, perhaps.
Yeah.
All of them impertinently teenage.
By which I mean, he's just going to stand in front of the mirror and flex his muscles.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. Those big Alzarian
muscles.
Yeah, I was trying to remember where that was from.
Yeah.
Well, Alzarians are very strong compared to humans.
That's true. They heal very quickly. They're left-handed.
Also, if you're wearing a mathematical badge for excellence, you better defend that thing.
Oh, definitely. I don't see any of their Alzarians with one of those, so no wonder he was cast out.
That's because he cut the rest of them with the badge.
This guy looks familiar to me. He sounds familiar. We can't hear him, but I remember his voice always sounded familiar. I don't think I placed him in anything else.
This old guy looks like a Monty Python extra.
He died relatively recently. Clinton Grain is his name. He played, what was the main Sontaran in The Two Doctors, also directed by Peter Moffat.
Steyer?
No.
Steyer? No.
Store? No.
No. Stike.
He's proper height, which is annoying. Or proper human height, anyway.
I think he's even taller than Tom Baker. He's like 6'3". That's, I can see why that's controversial. I honestly, people say, Sontarans are supposed to be little. Well, they could always create,
they could.
taller clones for special, there's different stormtroopers for different situations.
Yes.
Which is also blasphemous.
Should have
but
offhandedly given a line about that to explain it. Maybe.
Yes. I am very tall.
You need the Sontarans that can reach the stuff on the high shelf.
That's
you
true.
Need the Sontarans that can reach the stuff on the low shelf.
Yeah.
You need your Warrens and you need your Chris's.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking more along the lines of Game of Thrones. You got those giants who are very large and tank-like creatures.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
And that's the first I've thought of Game of Thrones in quite some time.
Oh, boy. I never tried. I enjoyed the last scene. I never tried to defend it, though, because I realized, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with being the only person in the universe who watched the last episode of Game of Thrones. I'm perfectly fine with that.
It was just kind of like, meh, that's all.
Yeah. Lords. Ooh, the wasting was the working title of this, I think, or maybe the. Was it? I think it was one of them anyway.
The Wasting and the Witch Lords.
The Witch Lords is the other. Witch Lords was the original because, of course, we're looking at a reused script. Because back in '77, when they were wanting to launch season 15, and Terrence Dicks was going to write a story about vampires to kick off the season, and the BBC said, you're going to make fun of our proper prestigious Dracula thing that we're making at the same time. So they dumped it.
How prestigious was it?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I would like to see what it looks like. I hope it was shot on multicam videotape.
This blew my mind. I was like, what? What's going on here?
I know.
The presence of technology?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they kicked the script down the road, put it in the filing cabinet. Terrence Dicks decides, okay, well, I'll come up with a new story quick. It just happens to spit out Horror Fang Rock, one of the great Doctor Who stories of all time, as a backup, for crying out loud.
Look at this ambling.
Look at him. That is, where's he going? I like where is he going? He's walking to the door knowing that he's not going to have to open it. You know, I feel like at some point he should be like, there's the door.
He's keeping his hands back from the keyboard, knowing it's going to explode.
Yeah. Good old K9.
I don't think I want to bother looking it up, but I'm kind of curious what that Dracula adaptation got for viewing figures back in the day, and if this was better or lower.
Oh, what did Dracula get? Did you find it? Or?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, those details aren't kept as rigorously as Doctor Who.
Assiduously, yes.
Well,
I mean, they might be.
Get back to your subs. Well, all right, you snooty little.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think Doctor Who was just recovering from its ratings apocalypse at the beginning of season 18 because of Buck Rogers for the most part.
Yes, which is unbelievable when you watch Buck Rogers now.
I know.
Or even then, to be honest. I mean, I was a kid, so I was like, yeah, sure, aliens and the draconian princess. Eyebrows waggle suggestively. But it's terrible, basically.
Yet I'm fascinated by it, but not fascinated enough to like spend $130 for the Blu-ray that's out there for one season. Like, I'm just waiting for this thing to show up on like Shout Factory TV or something, you know?
I tried watching Space 1999 because on YouTube, I believe. And
right.
I literally fell asleep in the first episode. It was not exciting at all.
It's amazing how somewhat slow shows on film in the 1970s from the BBC can seem, or from elsewhere, you know. But like, you get the Sandbaggers, and it's like it's hopping. I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
Well, it's the Sandbaggers. That's what's happening.
I guess
I'm sure there's probably a million different examples of dull as dirt stuff shot on studio cam too.
Probably. Maybe just because. I'm just trying to think, like maybe standing still looks better on film than it does on videotape. So
maybe,
you can get Alec Guinness and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy just standing there for 4 minutes and go, wow, look at that 16 millimeter film, Alec Guinness. This is great. But if you did it on videotape, you're going,
What I used to love, and by love I mean tolerate about Canadian TV, is you could always tell if it's Canadian based on the particular grain of 16 mil film they were using.
Right? Oh, I know.
Like, this is totally Canadian because it just looked a certain way.
Yeah, you could always tell. Listen, you probably can't. I can. I can always tell when something was shot at ITV here in Edmonton. It has a specific videotape look. You watch it,
and probably the lighting. The lighting is a certain way.
Maybe it's the lighting because every SCTV certainly that was shot at Edmonton just looks like. I remember that from the news.
Having been in ITV, I agree.
Yep.
Yes.
It must be the lighting or something, because it just had that look to it. But that was a good shot, actually. The shot of the band.
It was a good shot.
Yeah.
I have expected to hear the Doors. This is the end, my only friend. The end.
Yeah. As I say, Peter Moffat, good job at directing in this story only. I'm not sure we reflected that in the miniscope on him way back when, but
what else did you do?
Peter Moffat, let me think. Oh boy, I have to think about this. Don't tell me, people. I know this. I just have to think about
Peter Moffat?
Peter Moffat.
I can picture him.
He didn't direct again in season 19, did he? No, we did Visitation, and then he did Modern Undead, and he did the Five Doctors, and the Twin Dilemma, and the Two Doctors, and that was it.
All right.
That was it.
For some reason, I got in my head that he did Earthshock, but he did not.
Peter Grimwade.
No.
Yeah, that's why I mixed him up.
Yeah.
Yep, Grimwade back to back with Time Flight.
That's he wrote
that.
He wrote Time Flight. God, what a talent, Peter.
I love this old
was.
dude, the Binro of the proceedings.
Arthur Hewell, I think his name is. I think I got that name right. He shows up later on in Terror of the Vervoids. Exactly the same age.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot of fake beard action going on here.
That guy. That you were looking at a cat called Thane Bettany. His son, of course, is the very famous actor Paul Bettany.
I did not know that.
Yep. That is. I better back that up because I say a lot of crap on this podcast, and I need
I was going to say,
I'm
prepared to believe you, but I also kind of see a family resemblance.
You are correct.
I am correct. Okay, good.
I just looked it up.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I can't find anything on ratings for the 1977 Dracula, but
he's looked well done.
But if you want to spend $89, you can buy it on Amazon.
I don't want
on DVD.
Nope. I've seen clips of it on a Doctor Who documentary somewhere. I know that, and I think it was on Studio Cam. Why is it on iPlayer? It should be on iPlayer or Bitbox or something like that.
Yeah, BritBox is not catering to my 1970s tape.
Oh
whims.
my God, they are
again.
Listen, they could put everything on there, and I'm still like, we still miss that one thing from 1976. Just saying.
Also, we say all these things, but we have no idea what the rights nightmares are behind these things.
That's true. I mean, it took them a long time just to get the Dalek stories. Now the Dominators aren't even on there because of rights. So, like, yeah. Just think.
Adric trying to pinch some food.
Yeah. Because he's the Artful Dodger.
Recurring theme.
Yeah. He's the... Terrence Dix is like sticking rigidly to the initial character description, and so writes him as this rogue.
Which he is not. He's a wuss.
No, he is a bit of a wuss, but at this time they're thinking like, you know what? Don't do that. You're not good at that, so let's just make you basically canine as a boy. Except dumber.
Canine as a boy, except dumber.
That's him. Ivo. It's a good name, Ivo. Good economical name. 3 letters.
Multiple syllables.
Yeah.
3 letters, yeah.
Two vowels in there. Like, good work, Terrence Dix. Terry Nation would have like called him like Terran or something like that. He would have named him after himself like he always does. Look to my son if you say so. Yeah, he's dead. Sure. Did he leave any pizza? That's what I want to know. If I'm staying.
Magazines under his mattress.
What kind did they have? Oh, these aren't the magazines I was expecting.
Peasant Wench Monthly.
Whoa!
Wow.
Okay, that went to a place.
That's wow. Let's steer.
Where
back
to
and
begin?
Let's watch Matthew Waterhouse ladle some soup into a bowl.
Sounds like
He's getting paid to do that, man.
Yeah. Is that a Sinclair ZX81 computer that Tom Baker, or is it a Prime? Maybe it's a Prime computer that he's on right now.
A BBC Acorn, perhaps?
BBC Acorn.
I know the one in the TARDIS was a BBC Acorn, I'm pretty sure. Or at least the graphics were. I don't know, not the actual
Oh,
product.
yeah. I don't know much about computers pre-1999.
I know a lot of
first
garbage about computers.
Yeah, I don't. Just missed all of it.
Chris
I know
knows
that there
more
was
than
a
I do.
Commodore. Yeah, you do. You were in there. When did you probably bought your first computers like back in the 80s, I bet.
I still have my Color Computer 1 sitting across from me in my closet.
Seriously?
Radio Shack TRS-80, yep.
Wow.
Oren being a few years older than us got a computer before I did, but
It is...
technically my first one was a Coleco Atom in 1980.
It came with 4K. We upgraded to
5, wow.
32K. I'm not making this up.
Man.
My
32K.
watch is about 1 million times more powerful.
My watch, my fingerprint. I can store like 3 MP3s on my fingerprint.
Honestly, this analog sound box I've got here is probably more powerful than that computer.
Yeah.
And
Lovely
it's
old
expressly
technology.
to make things go from analog to digital. That's all it's for. That's the only thing it does.
I like that one. That's some good. Like I can't tell if that's an effect on making the screen all glitchy and stuff, but it's a very realistic effect because I bet you if you fired up your old Coleco Atom today, it would look just like that.
If you could find as I rattle out the acronyms, if you could find a CRT to which to attach your RS-232 interface lead, which is a song from Spitting Image and an interface.
So I can go through the CVE.
Yep.
Yes.
To get the CRT. Look at that.
Hey, it's Darth Vader.
I've seen that video game. Yeah, look at that. That looks like. Oh, what was that?
It's Bard's Tale. Oh, you know,
Sword Quest. Yeah.
What's the lady vampire's name?
Camilla.
Camilla's not looking so bad as a space lady.
Oh well.
Or indeed as a vampire.
No. The helmet does it for you, Warren. Is that what you're saying?
It's pretty much the helmet.
Yeah. That's Vision. That is Vision's father right there on screen.
Why have we seen Vision with a big fake beard?
I think we should. Maybe that would have made me watch WandaVision, but
it's all it takes. A big fake beard.
Yeah, there's not enough fake beards in TV these days. Look, every single even Tom Baker wears one earlier in this season. I mean, everyone wears a fake beard.
And as Rasputin.
And I'm just talking about in season 18 is what I mean.
See.
Yeah. Doesn't play Rasputin. In this season, Day for Night. Although not as egregious as a James Bond film from 1967. So
I like how they're very meticulous about having the green pallor in space, but not so much on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, I never noticed actually, it's not green now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like when they actually do location filming, they don't bother. When they're in space, everything's green.
Oh yeah. There's a bit green, isn't it?
All right, okay, fair enough.
I'm colorblind. I don't know if that's right or not, but
it's got a green tinge.
Yeah.
Yes,
a green hue. Bruce. Creepy music from one Paddy Kingsland,
which I cannot hear. I have it turned down.
I have it turned ever so slightly up so I could hear the creepy music by Paddy Kingsland. There's somebody with a fishing line and a fake bat in front of the camera
great.
there.
It's like the Birds.
Yes.
Or more accurately, Birdemic.
You're talking about the Birds and not the country rock group from the late 1960s, right?
No, I'm talking about the movie The Birds, but also there's a really terrible movie called Birdemic, which is basically the Birds with... I
remember hearing about that movie. And that's all we'll say about that, because it's the end of the episode. It's the end of this episode of Doctor Who. Watching the credits roll by here. Not even sure we saw Jargo. Rhoda, of course, had her own sitcom in America in the 1970s. Rhoda Rose.
Yeah, spinning off from Mary Tyler, I don't know, Doctor Who name.
Mary Tyler, Mrs. Mua from... Chris got that.
God.
I didn't.
God. That's a reach.
Oh, it's Andrew Hayden Smith, right? That was his name?
Yeah.
The loquacious Andrew Hayden Smith.
I can't even I can't speak that name in this house, so.
We'll find out.
Lost as to your blather.
We'll pick this up at the start of the next episode's commentary.
That's the cliffhanger for this commentary. Find out more about Andrew Hayden Smith and why his name is a slur in the Burgess Cat Griffiths household on the next Radio Free Skaro. And we'll also do a commentary for episode 2 of State of Decay. So until then, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
More in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.